it affords you to make a sample for even for the pregnant person. Now, you could time this at different stages of the pregnancy, and you still manage to survey. One thing I need to put there is that you can model the movement to check out the fitting. You can model the tightness or the pressure points to see how it's falling on the body. And I feel this is a sustainable way to do it than the traditional approach. I have to concede
जी बिल्कुल फैसलाबाद में गुज़िश्ता
to deal with their clients. However, in our industry in Uganda, this is a new thing, and it was the motivation for pointing specifically onto Uganda. So what do we benefit? It means if we do this approach, we are saying where even in the places we don't have accessibility, it means we are reducing the cost of sample making. It means we are reducing the times we are taking to finish this process, attend our clients. It means we are simplifying the communication, because instead of sending this sample by mail to this person, you are sending this sample through WhatsApp inbox. And all this, I feel, is a more sustainable way to deal with our question. And specifically, where this is a great area, I felt that's very relevant. And given the simplicity with which dealing with such a software is, then it's something that's very easy to fit into our industry. Now, here is a demo of how this is done in real life, or this is conventionally being done. And you can feel it's a lot of work to go through all these processes than taking the route that we've taken for this demo. That is a bit of what we are doing, and appreciation goes to Notex and NTU for the invited involvement to, in a special way, Professor Noah, whom we got in touch for this platform, and Ochanko University for meet this great group again. Thank you very much.
Thank you. We've got time for some questions. If anybody has any, before you say. Anybody got a question for us? Yeah, I'm going to jump in with one then, if that's okay. So you talked quite a lot about in between 3D garment making and 2D garment making, and I just wondered what the challenges of that interplay between the two are. So when you move between one and the other, what you found the challenges were?
I think the major challenge we have is the accessibility to the tools. In the Uganda specifically, the fashion industry is informal, still informal. So you have this in small and medium and even low-scale players. Now, taking this to them is something that's not so easy. And then access to computers, so you have to do this on the computer. And then, however much I feel it's very user-friendly to play with around with all these tools I've shown. To an ordinary person, it may not be so easy. I feel this is a challenge. Then having big, for this, you need a computer to do this, and even capacities, income capacities, these key players in our fashion industry. I think that may also be a bit of a challenge. But overall, I think this is
Great, thank you.
my pleasure. Thank you too.
Anyone else have a final question? No? Okay, we're going to move on. Thank you very much. Okay, we're going to go back to our first speaker, who I believe is now here. So Dr. Kumar Hamid is going to be talking about art integration in STEAM, critical analysis of acceptance and critical universe.
participating in multiple national markets. Approximately, I attended 6, 97 as a speaker. I attended 7 national conferences, Festival in Islamabad, in Lahore. We talked about education. It was one of my sciences that is not education. So we talked about education, we talked about history of art, how we teach art, how we teach art and design. This was the way, and the generic application in engineering and technology. So the one idea, which was the buzzword in the last year in my surrounding, was steam. It's a very common word now. When we talk about education, we always talk about the idea that we cannot teach the students in isolation. It's the need of the day that we should teach them different academic disciplines. And it's not a very novel or very modern idea. It has roots about more than 150 years. More specifically, after the Industrial Revolution, we have the putting of these steam engines. And then, this is one of my favorite discussions all the time when we sit in the education. What is science, what is technology, what is engineering, what is arts, what is mathematics? This is an amazing discussion. When we talk about science, we talk about empiricism, we talk about evidence. When we talk about technology, we talk about the practical implementation of possible science. When we talk about engineering, we talk about designing different interfaces, ideal science. And maths, no, I'm not a mathematician. And someone defined maths to me became a love. Maths is abstract. It's just finding the pattern in the numbers. So, and I have explained to you a little bit about arts. Arts is the expression. So, this was the idea which I start implementing on different art and design, not art and design, on different academic discipline in my surrounding. You know, what was my initial observation? We call it performative activism. We talk a lot about things. We talk a lot about some ethics. We talk about the sustainability. We don't take any practical step to implement, to apply that. This is the dilemma that the nation faces, I feel. So there was an extensive objective of my study, but in this presentation, I will just present some of the results of my first objective. That's to what extent art and aesthetic are incorporated in engineering and technology around the Pakistan University, comparing them to textile and fashion design. In today's presentation, I will just present you some of my, not exactly results, but some of my journey visual of this. The methodology is very simple. It's called pragmatism, constructivism, comparative education theory. George Gatman is one of the influential figures now in the STEAM education. She can find out how to integrate different department, the School of Art and Design, Madam Mr. Award, the Fine Arts Department, National College of Arts, which is one of the influential institutions in art. So I present four of my graph here. And I want you to see that how we talk about STEAM education in different contexts. But what is the actual position, the ground reality of the integration of the arts and the dynamic discipline in this? So let's have a look. What's the actual situation? I put this at I do some analysis, and this was my importance. Look at the issues. That was not very, I must say, very hopeful. Very. So look at this. We're talking about STEAM. We're talking about integration of art. We don't offer a single course of art and science. This is not just the dilemma of one institution. Let's have a look on the other institution. Same scenario with different graphs, or different aggregation of the different courses, but we cannot see any of the art, aesthetic, or expression courses. Now, let's compare it with the dynamic disciplines, which call themselves textile design. So you can see a little change. You can see this. Even though, well, this was an engineering university that turned into a technology university that turned into a multi-disciplinary university. But we have some examples of the university which was a hardcore fine arts university like National College of Arts. Even though we can see this. So this is the integration of STEAM in textile design to the possible integration of arts, or might be the A of the STEAM, into textile engineering category. So why I am telling you on a lighter note, I believe that if we go with this scenario, I hope it might not, and we reconsider our curriculums. So the perspective will become this, on a lighter note. And we see the world like this. And contrast to this, again I mentioned, with this prevail, how my fellows will see the world. So it's need of the day to acknowledge the significance of art in different technology and engineering courses in Pakistani education system. I shared initial result with one of my fellows, and he answered me this, that we cannot do it because of the restriction of some academic concepts. When I have to realize then that you are the path that engineering is. So it's the scenario which is really alarming, and it's my belief that by giving respect to each of the discipline, we can create a better world. So, skipping my formal results, I end my presentation with a piece of writing which I need, because by the end of the day, deep down in my heart, I am a social scientist, I'm a designer, so that's the results which I want to portray
Once upon a time, there stood two cities, design and engineering, each magnificent in its own right, yet divided by an invisible wall. Design, the city of color, expression, and boundless creativity, thrived on emotion, intuition, and beauty of form. Its streets were adorned with pastries of imagination, where artistry danced fairly in the air. Engineering, the city of logic, precision, and unshakable structure, stood tall with its intricate mechanism and flawless calculation. It was world of function when reason reigned supreme and the gear of progress danced with mathematical certainty. For centuries, the two cities admired one another from afar, hesitant and reluctant, appreciative and separate. Yet deep within the foundation, they knew they were never meant to stand alone. A bridge was needed, a passage where the two could meet, learn, and grow together, a path where the precision of engineering could embrace the poetry of design, and the fluidity of design could find harmony in the structure of engineering. Perhaps the answer lies in education. Just as science, technology, and engineering have woven their way into the fabric of design curriculum, it's a time for aesthetics and expression to be etched in the blueprint of the textile engineering. The vision is no more fantasy. It's a utopian dream in the making, and that demands dialogue, understanding, and above all, mutual respect. And so I find myself at a crossroads, eager to speak with the guardians of the textile engineering education, to speak wisdom from those who shape the future and discover the mechanism of the grand interdisciplinary brain. The wall is not indestructible. The bridge is not impossible. The journey is just now. I am talking about me, and you can follow me, or you can give your comments on any social media platform. Thank you very much.
We've got time for some questions, if anybody has any. I'm going to keep hogging the question floor then, if that's okay. So I'm a designer myself, and I understand and appreciate the value of design, but in your work, how do you overcome the challenges of communicating the value of design?
Communication with the engineers or communication with the real time?
I think real-time world.
With the real time. Because as I showed you, we have a very balanced number of forces. We have a very balanced forces, including in social sciences and design, creativity. So obviously we are living in a society where there are a lot of challenges as a fine artist. So those who are my fine artists, are always design a lot because of the unacceptability of art and hair. So for that reason, I have been associated with textile design to decades. Still, I'm striving that it should be good. So there is a great challenge. And the most important challenge is, if I specifically jot it down, it's about the culture and a bit of the so-called religious restriction, which is made us a little bit problematic in communicating the religion. But as far as I'm very proud of this we are trying to create balance in engagement. And I'm not just talking for the sake of presenting an argument. By the end of this session, you can see the evidence of this. One of my brilliant students is going to present a project in the end of the session. And she's an artist. She calls herself a designer. But she's going to present a work, a thesis, which is inclined towards forms. So there are lots of challenges. As far as my discipline is concerned, we're dealing with dialogue, with interacting with students. So for that reason, I had this courage to say all these things.
Great, thank you. Any other questions from the audience? No? That's great, thank you. Oh, we have
You can
one.
ask me anything if you lose others here.
Do you have a question?
tea stall is outside, but only 2% can go at a time and take their tea or biscuit, anything they like. But at a time, 2% please, and then come inside.
Thank you. We're going to move straight on to our next speaker, just being mindful of time. So we have Dr. Mohammed Rashid. We do. Thank you. So our next presenter is working on a piece of work called the Recent Progress in Carbon-Based Nanomaterials for Wearable Energy Harvesting Devices.
Hello everyone. I will mention. I hope that you will like the presentation. I'm a very critical guy. I won't go into things and the data I will first I will introduce myself. My name is Dr. Mohammed Rashid and I am serving as an assistant professor at the Department of Textile Engineering for the last 4 years at National Textile University in Hyderabad. And my research interests are semiconductor-based nanomaterials and devices, smart systems for wearable electronics and e-textile. And currently I'm working on the development of cheap smart products, smart textile-based products for those keeping in mind local market. And my students have developed two very interesting products and they are presenting in the project hall. You can see that they have developed smart glass for the blind and visually impaired person to detect the obstacles to while accident, and also the students have developed the group as well. Wireless control glass for controlling the electronic devices of the home educated person, whereas a third person is sitting aligned in the room and getting control knowledge. So let's start with the presentation. This is the outline of my presentation. First of all, I will talk about the introduction of the topic and we will just carbon-based nanomaterial and overview. Then we will discuss the mechanisms of energy harvesting, challenges and limitations, and future perspectives of this topic. So, what are the carbon-based nanomaterials and how they are getting attention of the researchers for renewable textile? Actually, this slide includes all the carbon-based nanomaterials and their applications for a wide range of self-powered electronic devices, wearable electronic devices. We will start from the zero-D material. For fluorine, this is carbon, and these are carbon nanotubes, monolayer graphene, graphene oxide, nanodiamond, graphite, carbon nanofluoride. So all these nanomaterials are being used for the wearable energy harvesting devices, where you don't need any power source or batteries to power the devices that you have in your pockets. All the devices in the future, all the devices will be wearable devices will be self-powered, and there will be no use of battery. So specifically this presentation, I will talk about all the wearable electronic devices will be self-powered, and all the researchers are doing research on this topic. So let's start with this. So wearable technology has demonstrated a recent spread of versatility, integration, flexibility, and intellectualization in the advancement of artificial intelligence. But the major drawback in the wearable textile is that they require a battery source or power source, and the rigidity of the batteries and rigidity total flexibility of the wearable products or wearable garments. So the researchers are going to work how to make the order of wearable textile self-powered. So in this presentation, I can specifically focus on how the human body can harvest energy and power the electronic devices that we can get in our daily life. So energy harvesting is the ideal replacement for the batteries in wearable technology. The unique development of energy harvesting created new research opportunities for the wearable harvesting. There are some mechanisms of energy harvesting which my focus will be on the energy harvesting for the wearable textile from human body. So human body is a very good source of energy for powering electronic devices. For example, in the future you will see that a person in a nice suit and you don't need to go to the energy charging socket. You will take his mobile or her mobile into the pocket and take energy from our body to make all electronic devices self-power. So in near future, you will see that you will develop batteries to power electronic devices for your automobile gadgets. So here this slide is here actually very nice representation of how the human body can different energy harvesting processes for the human body. We can extract you can see that the person is doing a lamp on his wrist and he is extracting the solar energy and he's outside and then you can harvest energy from the sunlight and power his, for example, watch or something like that. There is another mechanism where thermodynamic energy harvesting can power his own devices. If a person is running, he can power his, for example, earbuds, charging while he is running or doing some workouts. The kinetic energy, for example, you can put the sensor for energy harvesting devices and store the sketchers and they from you can get energy from the arms and wrists and ankles or different points of the whole body. So there is a nice taken this figure from the recent publication where they have demonstrated how from the different parts what is the potential of energy harvesting from the different parts of the human body. Here you can see that from the body you can extract energy from 2.4 to 4.8 watt and from acceleration we can extract maximum of 1 watt of energy power and from breathing it is very less or 0.3 watt and for blood pressure we can extract energy this will be around 0.93 and here you can see that the maximum energy can be extracted from the power motion of the human body and footfall will also generate maximum amount of energy for the available devices. So first of all, I will discuss the importance and how the energy is being harvested from the human body. So this phenomenon is called seatbelt effect. If you, I will try to make it very simple because I'm in the electronics engineering majority of the people are from different research backgrounds. So I try to make it very simple with very interesting figures so that everyone can understand. So what is actually seatbelt effect? I will show you. So here you can see that seatbelt was a scientist who invented this phenomenon. He observed that when a material avoids the temperature gradient is maintained in a material, for example, we have a rod of material and one side is at a high temperature and the other side is at a low temperature. Then electrons are excited and their electronic current starts to flow. So in 1830, he invented this phenomenon. This is the after his name. This is called seatbelt effect. And this is called thermoelectric generator, and the heat apparatus are trying to gather. One side is exposed to the heat source, and the other side is load disconnected. And for example, if a person imposes some material human person who is doing a dress, one side is will be exposed to the external environment, and the one side will be touch the human body, and the temperature gradient and energy current will start to flow. I will explain practical applications in the slides. Here you can see that a pulse oximeter, these are some results from the recent research. Here you can see that pulse oximeter, self-powered pulse oximeter, which is getting energy from the human body, and that was removing the heat to the disk, and is actually powering this oximeter. This is self-powered pulse oximeter. And in the second, in this figure you can see that a person is wearing a small sensor like band and some other and his body blood glucose level is continuously being monitored without any invasive vision or according to any invasive techniques. So this is very interesting. Another this is also self-powered device. Where Cisco has developed a device and watch is self-powered and there is no need to place any battery. When you are until you are alive, you can power your watch. You don't need to place any battery in your watch. No, the second source of energy for the real electronic device is the solar energy. So what is the phenomena? All the solar energy is, all the electronic current is produced in the solar, some photovoltaic material. When the sunlight falls on the photovoltaic material or the electrons and the voltage are generated, they are separated, and the load is connected, then the Here you can see that a person is building a smart watch. This actually has been developed and people are working on it, and in near future in Europe and in the USA, this technology will be very common. But for Pakistan, it will take at least extra laws on this. So maybe for Pakistan, it will be around 10 years to implement this technology. But for Europe and the developing countries, it is very common. So here you can see that a researcher has developed a smart watch. This is self-powered smartwatch integrated with the solar panels, small solar modules, and there is no need to power with any source of battery and any power source. Unless he's lying, he's building this smart watch, he's sitting outside, he's powering his batteries, recharging the batteries, and then he's inside the room, he's going to get the power from the batteries, and outside, the batteries will be charged from the sunlight. The third thing is piezoelectric energy harvesting. This is another interesting phenomenon, piezoelectricity. What is piezoelectric phenomenon? Actually, it is the energy harvesting and energy extraction from the human motion. For example, I'm talking, I'm moving from one point to another, while I'm running, I'm jogging. So from these all my activities, I can extract the energy and I can use this energy to power my wearable devices. For example, my earbuds, my mobile phone, my other, for example, if I have some instruments to measure my health, any protection device on my body. So according to the latest literature, 65-80% have been able to 65 kg may create approximately 67 watts of electrical power while walking at speed of about 2 steps each second. In 1 second, if he's walking 2 steps, then maximum 7 watts of energy can be produced. So there are practical applications, and researchers have actually developed the things. This is not like something I'm talking about scientific movie or science fiction movie. Actually, the things have been developed, and they are presenting these in different prototypes have been developed, and soon they will be as I showed you, the school has developed a watch that is powered, and there is no need to place in battery or power for these devices. For example, here you can see that a person usually when they come to the office for students, they come to the university, they wear a bag from the shoulders of the human body, which can extract energy. And from the elbow, when you move the upper elbow like this, you can place energy harvester, electric energy harvester. At this point, I will show you the reply. And we can get energy from even this movement. And from the wrist of the human body, you can also extract the energy. From the fingers, you can extract energy. From the eyes, from breathing, knee, and foot. From every part of the body, we can get energy, and we can produce energy. So here you can see, I will show you the next slide. Here you can see that a piezoelectric material has been placed inside the sole of the sensor, and when the person is walking, he is actually putting pressure on the sensor, and with this pressure pushing this material, and electricity is produced, and here you can see the values of voltage, and the real time values of voltage, which are around 0.6 volts and 0.5 volts. And here you can see another setup where a person is jumping, and the maximum of the 4 volts have been extracted from this jumping. A person is walking, running, from everything, every movement you can extract energy, you can utilize it for powering our devices. So, but there are some limitations that I will discuss at the end. So, we can also I will almost take about 5 minutes. So this is another system here. A person, a smart SIM has been deposited on the wrist of a person, and the data has been transmitted to a wireless device, and everything on this wireless is on the meter. Electrostatic data device is another technology. Here you can see that the different carbon analysis have been used for the detection of vital signs here. A smart SIM cache has been placed on the wrist of the person, and all they do is wireless communication on the wireless device. This is like triboelectric energy harvesters, where the different types of energy may carbon-based materials are integrated to the lifestyle to generate energy. So hybrid-based energy harvester actually uses two different types of energy sources. For example, so this figure, see this figure, here a person is wearing a smart jacket, is powering, getting power from the body as well as from the soil energy. So we can combine two different energy harvesting sources to get maximum of the energy. So there are some applications like for small gadgets, which is less known, without touching the screen, we can assess the movement of head, the movement of the finger, and how the motion is reacting to the processor, and as operations has been done on mobile phones using an analysis technology. Here you can see that 10,000 the power we use to power the smart glasses for e-reading devices for a swimmer, which is inside underneath the sea, and also a person or a worker who is working in the ocean. What are the challenges and limitations of the energy harvesting devices and carbon-based devices? Actually, the major problem is that the output power is very low. There's an opportunity to improve the output power. Stability and durability should be an application because we also have to consider the washability of the product. And secondly, stability and large scale fabrication is probably an issue. Efficiency of implementation microsystem is actually another challenge for this project. And what's our future perspective research directions for the researchers who want to research in this field? Actually, the main major problem or major challenge is to improve the power output. So the researchers are trying to do this to get maximum power output of the human body. Advanced application techniques for the large scale application, smart SI equated multifunctional energy harvesting, AI analogy, creation of power, variable system can actually revolutionize this field. And in future, near future, you will see a person don't need to run for a electric socket to charge his mobile or charge his laptop. His body will be his battery bank, and he don't need to go here. I hope you will like the presentation. That's all from my side. I will appreciate anyone who wants to ask any questions. No, no.
What will happen if it rains or rain or I get wet? What happens?
Actually, I have told there are some challenges, although at this stage, at the day, there are some challenges, some specific challenges that like I have told there are washability issues if you have some device on the body or the costume, then if you wash it, it will be short circuit, it's a major issue. Then we apply some processing techniques which will cover all the sensing mechanism or all the sensing material with as it is something coating that cannot destroy or affect on the electronic components. I have developed two projects. One of them is the smart gloves for blind persons, where it's very cheap product and which has the flexible component are attached to it. A presentation will spirit represented the project and participating for the project application. And the other one here, very interesting product in which we have installed some sensors on the gloves, and with the simple finger movement, we can automate all the electronic appliances. So the person, for example, suffering from paralysis, he don't need to have any element with dynamics phone. He just
thank you. We're going to move on. Thanks very much.
If you told me, I would like to say one thing. First of all, I totally disagree with that engineers don't have artistic vibe. Actually, I'm an honest engineer. I'm an entrepreneur. I am a YouTuber. I am a very good singer. I am a very good cook. I am a very good tourist. I am a very good, you can say, sports guy. I play table dance. So I'm well really interior designer. I can design my house if you show my house to some top-notch interior designer. I think I will give him a tough time. I also have designed my own house. I'm a technical background. I'm very good. I'm a tourist. I have visited more than 30 countries around the world, including all Europe, USA, Middle East. So I have very interesting personality and I'm very artistic by part.
Sorry, can we take this conversation offline? We're running 10 minutes late already.
You said 100 times and I am in your house. That's the problem. Sorry. We need to change this answer. You say I am 100 times in your house. Just need to change.
No, I just read that. I'm just saying that I agree with you that majority there are some issues.
My son is an excellent in electronics, but I cannot give him a degree of electronics.
Can we take this conversation to the break, please? Thank you. Thanks very much for our speakers. Okay, we're running slightly behind schedule, but we're going to welcome our next speaker. So our next speaker is going to discuss Oscar Wilde's influence on the aesthetic movement, fashion and textiles in literature. So just as a reminder, we've got 15 minutes for the next three presentations. We'll ring the bell when your time is up.
Alright, assalamualaikum and good morning everyone. So my name is Aini and today I will present on Oscar Wilde's influence on aesthetic movement through fashion, textile and literature. So for this, I will focus on the objective of this presentation is to look at to investigate Oscar Wilde's influence on literary fashion. The second one is to analyze its impact on 19th century fashion design. And then we will discuss on how his works in literature affect the contemporary designers and authors of today. And also another cultural piece that was taught in the novel is strange figure thoughts from Java. So Java is from an Indonesian island of Java. So what he was alluding to is the batik craftsmanship. So this is just an example of some of the batik in this world. So I'm from Malaysia. We also have our own version of batik, but this one is in particular talks about the Java batik, and how it is being made is through molten wax. So the molten wax is being put on the fabric, and then they add colors, they add dyes, and then that's how the process is. So this is like the molten wax and all. And then there's also the Chinese hanging.
required for the degradation of these materials. These are some of the projects that I studied for the beginning of my own project. It includes the experiment by Cannon and Rock, Sway the Future, Biotour 2019. The main objective of this project is to offer a sustainable alternate to existing materials, non-woven textiles specifically, for single-use products and even for slightly long-term use products by utilizing the abundant and renewable raw materials existing. It is also to promote environmental responsibility and reduce our dependency on the fossil-based materials that are leaving a huge carbon footprint. The methodology employed in this project was mainly a practice-based methodology which allowed discovery through the act of making. If we look at the design process here, it began with data collection in 3 different phases, starting from the study of existing bioplastic materials, then collection of available raw materials, and moving on to an iterative experimentation process. Phase 1 of the experimentation begins with experimentation with different biopolymer materials. For this, I began with the study of recipes available online in resources like the Bioplastic Cookbook or the Future Materials Bank, etc. These are some of the sampling I have done from it with these observations noted on site. Phase 2 of this experimentation is marked with fillers for some shortlisted materials out of the previous sampling. These were basically to reduce the cost of these materials as well as to increase the mass of it. So there are several agricultural wastes, as Pakistan is an agricultural country, we generate a lot of agricultural waste. So several agricultural waste materials were used in it, several industrial waste materials were used in it, and household waste as well. They were being mostly processed, dried and powdered or pulped to be included in some of the compositions I have shown previously. Phase 3 of this project was mainly an improvement in one selected composition, which was a composition of sodium alginate as a biopolymer, recycled paper pulp as a filler in it, and several additives. This process sampling initially showed some limitations, which were mainly moisture absorption. So this moisture absorption resulted in a severe reduction of the tensile strength of the material. So at least around 30 different variations of this main composition were tested to overcome these limitations, and the documentation including time taken and cost were recorded for it. This is the record of all of that sampling. Then I move on to a more aesthetical part of the project, the application of different techniques for color bags that are currently in use. Clothing bags can be made out of it. It can be used as a packaging for dry materials as well. Dry food items like pasta or rice. It can be used as an alternative to leather and leatherite materials because of its texture and its physical properties. It can be used very efficiently in event decor, as it can be made in all sorts of colors without the additional pigment, extra pigments. The paper piping gives it its
for Dr. Umair. Please welcome on the stage and receive the certificate of minister. Wonderful presentation. Please give on. Dr. Umair from India. Dr. Umair, please come on the stage. Dr. Muhammad Harun Rashid from India, please come on the stage and receive the certificate. He is not here, so moving towards next. Quran Ali Binte Muhammad Shah. Please come on the stage. Thank you. Have a round of applause, please. Next, Miss Alize Mohsen. Please come on the stage. Thank you. So for the certificate from Dr. Alina, I request her please come on the stage. Sir Zabir, please come on the stage. For the group photo session, please all the presenters come on the stage and have a group photo with Dr. Alina. Dr. Birala,